This is the second video that's going to show you the tools that you need and the assignment for Google Earth. And then in the third video, I'll go through the actual assignment. If this pops up, you just click close, and here comes the Earth. And the first thing I want to do is go through some tools with you. So the first thing you should know is that you can move the Earth just by clicking and dragging it. So if you know where you want to go, if I want to go to Hawaii, I can just click and drag the Earth that way. I can also look at the North Pole. And then you should know how to zoom in. There are actually 3 ways to zoom in. I can double click on a place and it'll zoom me in closer to it. I can use the little slider over here with the plus and minus, or actually grab the slider and drag that up or down. Or I can use the wheel on my mouse, and if I pull the wheel toward me, if I scroll towards me with the wheel on the mouse, it zooms out. And if I push the wheel away from me, it zooms in. Okay, so that's one way that you can, those are 3 ways actually that you can zoom. You can rotate the perspective up here. I can turn north this way, which is not what we're used to looking at. So it might be a little easier if you just keep that where it is. And so that's just the ways that you can move around. Another way you can get where you need to go is to search for a specific place. So up here in this search box, you can put in a place name, and you have to be pretty specific. You don't want to just put in Peru because it will not know that you need our Peru and not the country of Peru. So if I type that in, it'll zoom me right in there. Okay. And then, of course, I can zoom in even closer by pushing the wheel on my mouse away from me or double clicking. And here, if I go even closer, you can see that I've already put a place marker here on our school. So there's the football field and the track and the elementary and intermediate buildings and the bus garage, and here's your parking lot. Okay, and I can get pretty close actually. They just redid a whole bunch of videos, of a whole bunch of pictures. So there's our buses. That's pretty cool. All right, so that's how you search for a specific place. Of course, you can put an address in there too. So if I put in my address, and here I am telling you where I live, don't show up, okay? I can zoom into my house by clicking search. That's how I get to school every day, up the North Way. Here I am here, and I can see my driveway and my garage and my trees. That's my house. If I scroll toward me, I can see there's Lefty Wilson, and there's where the North Stars played. There's the skate park. Okay? All right. Now, we also have filters and layers down here. So I can actually, I can clear the search results there if I want. Filters and layers down here. Right now, I've got borders and labels on. I can toggle that off. And let me go back to Peru so we can see things that we're used to. That was the flight line at the airbase, the airport. So I can see borders and labels like place names and the borders. And actually, there's the border of New York and Vermont going right down the middle of the lake. I can click on roads, and that will show me the roads. There's the Northway. Okay, I can also click on places, and these little tiny boxes will appear. And when the boxes are there, you can actually click on them. Let's see if I can find one. Here we go. Here's a little box. Is that a box? Oh, it's labeling the places. So it's giving me the different places that are there. I can click on photos, which if someone has visited a place and they've tagged a photo in that place, they pop up in these little circles, and I can click on them and see the person's photo. That's pretty cool. I can also click on 3D buildings. A really cool one, though, is weather. So if I check this weather box, it's going to show me some weather, and I'm actually going to scroll out so that we can see the weather. I'm going to uncheck lots of other things so that I don't have so many things in my way. But But here's the storm that just passed us right here off the coast. See all those clouds? That's that big storm. And we don't have another one coming in for a little while, so I think we're good. But that's pretty neat. When there's a hurricane or something, you would be able to see it. That's pretty cool. That's basically all you really need. There's some other things, and you can play with those later. All right, so you need to be able to make one of those place markers. Now, let me show you how. I'm going to go back in here, and maybe I'll uncheck that one so that it's not there. Okay, so I had gone to Peru, New York. Let me go back there by typing it in the box, and it'll zoom me there. Zoom. There really should be some kind of audio effects here. That would be kind of cool. All right, so let's say I want to put in a place marker for Peru Junior Senior High School. Okay, I make myself there. Up here in the toolbar, and here's the toolbar, you click this little push pin, and that's going to add a place mark. Now this window pops up, and you can move this around. So if it's in your way, you can just drag it over. The little push pin, you can also click and drag to move that. So you put it where you want it to be, and you title it over here. And type that in there. It also gives you the latitude and the longitude. Some people make those cute little gifts where they have, I don't know, tattooed or engraved on a bracelet or something, the latitude and longitude of where they met. That's how you would find out if you want to do that. You can add a link, you can add a web image, all kinds of other stuff there, but that's the basics of a place mark, and you just click OK. Now that's going to appear over here in your list of place marks, and any ones that are checked, you're going to be able to see. So you'll be able to go back to a place if you need to. All right, and now you might want to be able to measure distance. So let's say I want to know how far it is from the high school to the lake, okay, or Valcour Island. I can measure lots of different ways, but the easiest way to just know about how far it is to use the ruler. So when I click the ruler, again, I get a window that I can drag around the screen. I get to choose my unit of measure here, and I'm going to use miles. And then my cursor becomes this little box. I don't click and drag this. I just click in the first place, and then I just move my mouse. And that just moves things wherever it goes. So if I want to make it out to Valcour, I need to know that as the crow flies, they say, like if you could fly over everything, you would have to go about 6 miles, 5.97 miles. Okay, so that's, and then to get to second place, you just click again, okay, and it lets go. So if you needed to measure again from here to someplace else, you could do that. Okay, and you can also save that ruler, that measurement if you need to, or clear it. All right, that's measuring distance. Next, just a couple more here. Next, you have sunlight, which tells you what it looks like at different times of day. So here's what it looks like at 9:12 p.m. And here's what it looked like at 2:04 p.m. That's kind of cool. You've got historical imagery, which is really cool. I can't wait to show you this. All right, so I'm going to go back to the high school, and I could have gotten there by just clicking my place marker if I wanted to. Take me in there. So here's what we know. This is junior high wing. Let me get even closer for you. Junior high wing, the gym and the library wing, the high school wing. This is the bus loop wing here. If I click this guy up, I can toggle off daylight. I don't need to know that anymore. If I click this guy, which is historical imagery, I can go all the way back to as far as 1995. If I drag this back there, my picture turns black and white because they're older images. But now you can see that the high school, there's the junior high wing, and the gym and the library wing, and the high school wing. Where's the wing for the bus loop? Well, it isn't there. It wasn't built. So when I first started teaching here, it was a U-shaped building and not a circle. And we actually could go out one door and across and in another door if we needed to get to the other side of the building. These guys right here were called the mods. and they were basically trailers that we used as extra classrooms. There's the library. So this is the courtyard now. Those things didn't last very long because it was pretty soft and wet out there, and they eventually rotted and kind of sank into the ground, and we removed them. There's the old football field, etc. All right, so that's pretty cool, historical imagery. And again, that toggles off, so you can come back to real life. There are other things you can see too, by the way, with Google Earth. I don't know if you know. If you click this up here, you can see the sky from wherever you are. Like if you looked up, this is what the sky would look like. And they label the constellations for you, and that kind of freaks me out a little bit. And you can also go to the moon, and we can kind of do Google Moon instead of Google Earth, and look around the surface of the moon. That's kind of neat. Okay. We can also look at the surface of Mars, because they've taken so many pictures, they can give us a Google Mars, and that's amazing. All right, so those are the tools, and I can go back to Earth if I like. Those are the tools that you'll need to do this assignment. Sorry this video is so long. I will start a third one for the actual assignment.